Sam,
Tyler.
who are your top 3 favorite actors currently working?
Oh, we're just going to start the podcast off like that.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. That was my question today for Sam. I was thinking about that on the way up here of like 3 actors. Ooh, I love that noise.
Daddy.
Cheers, mate. 3 actors. That's a good noise. That's one of the best noises that exists. When you're like filling up that drink, you know. Oh man. You get that close to the mic, yes.
ASMR.
What are you drinking?
Coca-Cola Zero
Coke Zero.
from the Costa Vida Cup, non-sponsored by either.
Although,
But one day.
And can we also get a sponsor from Rise Fuel?
Rise, give me a reason to drink cotton candy all day, every day.
You want to try it?
I'll give it a shot.
It's pretty good. Pretty good, yeah? Tastes like bang.
It's pretty banging.
Pretty bang.
Okay.
3 actors.
3 actors' favorite working today.
I had a hard time with this one. I'm like, because there's a lot of good actors. But I think I've narrowed mine down to 3 that I would probably see whatever they're in until they give me a reason not to. Actors or actress, whatever you were in your top 3.
One comes to my mind right away, but I haven't seen him in a movie in a little bit, but Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
I think Sam Rockwell's phenomenal.
What's your favorite role he does?
3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. As sheriff or, what's his name? But he plays a sheriff. Well, plays a police officer in town. Sheriff is Woody Harrelson. Have you seen 3 Billboards?
No.
Shut
I'm
up.
gonna put it now. 3 Billboards.
Fucking A, bro.
Is it like a Netflix show or what is it?
No, it's I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. It's a Martin McDonagh movie, and it's so good.
3 Billboards?
3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I don't know how you've not seen this.
I didn't get the invite to go.
It came out like 8 years ago.
Oh, okay. Back you lived in LA?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Here's the log line, right?
Okay.
A woman buys 3 billboards, like the space on the billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and puts messages up on them because her daughter was raped and murdered, and the person has not been found, and the town has not done anything about it. So she buys space on the billboards as you drive in and out of town that puts messages about this, and it just is uncomfortable for everybody. But it's her efforts in trying to go, what are you doing about the case of my missing daughter? Anyways, just in your line of work, I'm like, have you not heard of this movie?
Oh my gosh, I'm really interested. This might be my evening plans.
Bro.
If I can find it.
It's Francis wow, now all of my names are getting jumbled up.
3 Billboards.
Anyways, my brain's freezing. But 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, fantastic film. Top 3 for me, for sure.
Jeez.
But Sam Rockwell. Other favorite actors or actresses working today? Dude, that's a great question.
I figured it might be. It took me about 30 minutes to narrow down my 3. I can give you my 3 if you want first.
Do it.
First one is, and he's just one of the biggest actors in the world right now. It's Pedro Pascal. Don't care what he's in, whether he's just voicing a character,
knew that.
Mandalorian, or if he's Joel, or if he is the villain in Wonder Woman 84, which was a terrible movie. I'll watch it. If he's in it, I will watch it just to see him in it. We were watching the other night, me and Brooklyn, the one where I forget the name of it, but it's got Nicolas Cage in it. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like buddies.
Him and Nicolas Cage are buddies?
Yeah, in this movie.
Oh, I don't know.
It's something like incredibly wonderful, talented something.
Oh, I don't know.
It's fine, but Pedro's in it, and so I watched it. The other one is also a pretty big name. It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah,
Jake. I I thought he was really good in like the smaller movies that he did way back when, things like Prisoners. I really enjoyed him in the new Spider-Man, but it was The Covenant where he really won me over. I thought his performance in The Covenant was amazing. And then last year he was in Presumed Innocent on Apple TV.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, really good. He was amazing in it. And so I think at this point, anything that he's in, I'll probably watch. And I think the last one is David Boreanaz. And he does more of like TV shows. He's really famous for 3 particular: Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Bones, and then SEAL Team.
Oh yeah,
you know that actor.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Classic.
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
Every show that he's in, it has longevity to it. It has heart to it. And I think he provides a lot of that. And so anything that he's in, his next project on TV, which I'm assuming he's a TV actor, do a project on CBS or Apple or something, I will consume because anything he's in, I'll watch.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick like a favorite actor or actress because there's a lot of them that I'm really impressed by, and I get lost in the stories because it's so good, and I just forget about who's doing it and what, right? Which is probably the biggest compliment to them because they want their character to be so seamless and invincible.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just so perfect. But I guess a name that comes to my mind that every time I don't necessarily like his characters, but I go, shit, bro. I mean, you're going to guess it right off this line. What kind of American are you?
Oh, man. He is
Jesse
good.
Plemons, dude.
Oh, he is good.
He is so good.
He's so good at playing like the white supremacist Nazi.
I don't like his characters.
No, but they're always so...
But it's like, holy shit, it is undeniably good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great.
Man, so, yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, I just quoted a scene from Civil War this last year that he was in.
Best movie of 2024.
And that scene that he does, holy Moses, bro.
That scene was so good because I could... you're probably the same way. I know people, like friends of mine or even potentially family of mine, that if a world happened like Civil War, they could end up becoming like that character.
Yes.
Which is scary.
It's very scary. It's very scary.
It's like we have just the geography of where we live houses some of those people. Not just the West, but they're just everywhere. But people in that circle to where these limits that society kind of places on them keep them in check. And if there are no limits, they might, maybe not the mass murder, but potentially the question of like, well, I know you're an American, but what kind of American are you?
Right. Yeah.
Great pick. Yeah, he's
Jesse Plemons' character, like his character in Breaking Bad and then the Breaking Bad movie. I don't like his character, but dude is unbelievably good.
Yeah.
So, who else? Man, I'm trying to go, well, what are my favorite movies? Blah, 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 blah. You know whose performance I was really amazed by this last year? I mean, you know this answer already. Is Anasawa from Shogun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, her character role in that movie, in that TV show, it's so reverent but speaks so loudly. Like, I'm amazed at the way that the way that she played her character, which just felt to me like incredibly authentic of just the world that they were portraying. Obviously, I didn't live back in that time period or in that geographical region, but I felt like this had to have been 100% what it was like. It just felt like it. It just felt so grounded. So, anyways, her character was so brave.
Yeah. So
brave. My gosh, you haven't seen it.
I've seen 3 episodes of it, and I was a big fan of her, and she is good in I think everything I've ever seen her in. I think that she's in one of the Logan movies, the Wolverine. including the same guy, the main character in Shogun. He's also in the Wolverine. He's really good. So I have not finished Shogun. I've seen part of Shogun, but that actress, I forget her name. What's her name?
Anna Sawai.
She's good. I think she's good in everything.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. But even like as I'm talking through this with you, I'm like, well, how did I not put John Bernthal in this? I haven't missed a John Bernthal project in a decade. Why did I not put him in there?
You know, John. My first introduction to John was the Walking Dead.
Yep.
Shane.
Yeah.
And
he's an animal. He's an asshole.
Yes, Justice. And I remember not liking him because of that for the longest time. And then obviously, like, you separate the character from the human, and you go, "Oh no, he's not. Obviously, he's not like that."
No, he's such a good human being.
Yeah,
and his story. If you ever get to listen to like his podcast, he did a podcast with Joe Rogan, where he talked about like his journey as an actor in 3 hours, where like he studied acting in Moscow for like 3 years. Like he saw people get murdered, and living in like this brutal society to where people fled to the arts for some kind of beauty in their life
or relief,
God,
escape.
It's just. I mean, it just goes to show just because like the two characters I'm thinking of that John portrays right now that I think represent kind of what he learned in Moscow is Frank Castle in The Punisher and the brother in The Bear, where in The Punisher. He represents so well what people that are suffering from PTSD may look and act like. Like he's said in interviews to where the character, obviously he's playing this famous character, but he's had people that have been tortured or former police officers or medics or just whoever. They've gone and said, "Hey, thank you for portraying that the way you did. Like you really portrayed my despair, my hope, my mixed emotions, my actions toward my family in a really good way." And in The Bear, like that dude is the most happy-go-lucky, like just small business owner that would exist anywhere in the United States. You would never know that he is suicidal. And I think does anybody know? Like I mean, we talked about this, even just this year of like some of the people that we know, even like your personal story. Like you just don't know what people are struggling with behind the scenes, and the way that he portrays that of like. With his character in The Bear, I just love it. I just think he's so good. And I can't believe I just left him off my top 3 list.
I know, bro.
Okay. Top 3 now Mount Rushmore. He's on Mount Rushmore.
Well, and I think I was just also going through and go, oh man, what character, what actors have just gone through characters that I've really liked or done really well, and I just started thinking of Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, shit, man, he's actually really fucking talented.
Oh, he's so good.
Like, really good.
Like, what do you think like his last 3 roles of like Willy Wonka, Elvis? Is that who he played on the big screen?
No, it just...
Bob Dylan?
Yes.
Bob Dylan, and then Al-Shab Mahi.
Yeah.
What's his name? I forget his name.
Lisan Al-Gaib.
Okay, Lisan Al-Gaib. The chosen one.
The chosen one. Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
Muad'Dib. Lisan Al-Gaib.
Little lizard desert mouse.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I don't know if I can pick a top, but because I'm just going to start thinking going, oh, they're very good. They're super good. They're super good.
Well, I thought of this question. I was at the gym. And there's this video that came on Watch Mojo, and it talked about the top 50 actors working today, and I just didn't agree with their list. Not that they're bad actors, and maybe like they're.
I'm curious. Keep talking. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look.
Yeah. It's a video. You have to watch the whole video.
Oh.
But
it just came out from Watch Mojo.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 days ago.
Let's just see if ChatGPT can decipher that.
Yeah, decipher. Yeah. But number 1 is Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep. Tom Hanks in the top 3. Leo DiCaprio's in the top 10. And those are obviously like Oscar-winning actors. They talked about The Revenant and how that got Leo DiCaprio his Oscar. Tom Hanks making you fall in love with a volleyball. All these different things, and I'm just like, I get their You got the list?
Yep.
I get like why they would choose a list that they did, but I'm just like, for me, my list would just look different because none of the actors that I mentioned, Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't mentioned, um, Pedro wasn't mentioned, and David Boreanaz being a TV actor, I shouldn't think he wasn't mentioned, and neither was John Bernthal. And I'm just like, really, not in the top 50? Not in the top 50? So,
Yeah. Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Al Pacino, Denzel Washington, Daniel Day-Lewis, Kate Blanchett, Tom Cruise, Robert De Niro, Robin Williams, Leo. That's the top 10.
mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, William Dafoe. He's number 28. William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Okay, so with William Dafoe, he's a great actor, but there are some stuff that I like his films that he's in. There's some I won't watch, or that not that I won't watch. They're just he's really good in them, but they're not my favorite movies of all time. Like The Lighthouse, like he was great in The Lighthouse, but that Lighthouse is a fucking weird show. The Northman. These are all Robert Eggers films, right? But like I loved him as Green Goblin. I thought he was an amazing Green Goblin.
Oh man, I'm a huge fan of William Dafoe.
You know who else? Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is good in everything.
Everything.
How do you portray? Like I was watching the Harry Potters the other day.
He's not even on this list.
No, and he's Sirius Black. He's Commissioner Gordon.
Watch
Dick
Mojo.
Cheney. Yeah, it's a bad list. But like,
oh shit, he's number 44. Watch Mojo.
Hey. Christian Bale. I love Christian Bale. He's great in everything.
I don't see Christian Bale on this. He is 21.
Yeah, he's in there.
He's in there.
Yeah. I remember I saw him this morning while I was at the gym.
You saw him at the gym?
No, I saw him at the.
I know.
I had to finish the list, a long list. But no, I mean that's
Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Everything he did was so good.
Yeah.
Take the range that he did from the Twister dude, the dude he plays in Twister, to the villain in Mission Impossible 3.
Yep.
And everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
But you know who they left off this list is speaking of the range and Mission Impossible movies, is the Spanish actor. I forget his name. He's a villain in one of the Mission Impossibles, and he's also the villain in No Country for Old Men. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, he's amazing. Mm-hmm. How is he not on this list?
Dude, how is he not on that list?
No, now I'm getting frustrated.
And the audio's probably peaking, so whatever. That's a great question. That's a great question. That makes me think, like, I never present a question.
Well, you can ask me one today if you want, or you can take the next 5.
What time is it? 1:20? I got an hour before I got a jet. Maybe next time.
Okay.
Or depending on the recap of today at the end.
Okay. If not, the next 5 episodes, you ask me the question.
Oh no, I mean we don't have to. I don't have to do that. But I was just thinking. Oh yeah, like.
Okay. You can ask me a on the spot question. Okay. Well, that gets us into the based on the time that we're here, we are talking about Game of Thrones season 2.
The aftermath of.
Yes. So
the end of Ned.
Yeah. So the end of season 1. Mother of Dragons, she shows up. There's the war that's brewing with all these kingdoms, like trying to get the throne, and it leads us right into season 2. My first thoughts.
Let me try and before you start, if I may, I'm going to try and run through my memory of season 2.
Okay.
The whole season is basically the 5 kings throughout that are trying for the throne, right? You have King Joffrey, who
he sits on the throne.
Yeah. Then you have Stannis Baratheon, who falsely claims that Joffrey is the king and that he is the rightful king as the brother of Robert Baratheon. Then you have Jon Snow.
No, Jon Snow is not really in this fight at this point.
Doesn't he? Doesn't it? Oh, no.
His brother?
His
half brother?
his brother. Why King of the North?
I don't know his name yet either. I know his face.
Fuck. What's his name? Anyways, the oldest Stark
Yeah.
son. He claims King of the North,
Yeah.
rightful heir. And then there's a couple more. There's like from the
Yeah, there's like this guy who's married to like this witch, I think. Because this witch gives birth like this ghost. You know what I'm talking about? And this ghost.
yes, the Red Witch.
Yeah.
And Stannis Baratheon.
That's Stannis Baratheon?
That's Stannis
okay,
Baratheon.
So let me go through the kings here. You got one of the Starks, King of the North. You have Joffrey. You have the.
Oh no! I know who you're talking about. That is not Stannis Baratheon. The dude that
Conceived the.
conceived the ghost.
Yeah.
Yes, not Stannis Baratheon. But there's that kid because there's the whole leech thing with him. And
Maybe.
am I going too far?
I don't know, but she had a baby,
Yes,
and it was the ghost, and the ghost killed one of the kings
Melisandre.
that had a boyfriend that was married to a queen, but he was more interested in the queen's brother than the queen herself,
Yes.
and he dies. So like,
Oh, that's right.
so I can run down the whole season real quick, and they can. This is where you're at. The season ended with the fat guy who's with Jon Snow up in the Winterlands.
You gotta stop calling him the fat guy. He's such a good character.
I know, but I don't know his name, bro. I don't know his name. That guy. I thought he was going to die this season because I didn't see him for an episode or two, and then he's hiding behind these rocks, and these White Walkers show up. I think they're White Walkers because I don't know the lore yet, but the guy was riding a horse, and the horse looked like it had died before. You know what I'm saying? And the White Walker looked at him and then had like this snarl, and then he moved forth all these other, I assume, White Walkers.
100% White Walkers.
But here's the thing: is like, I don't know if they're like a race or if they are legit zombies. Because during the Jon Snow exhibition, where they're up in the woods, up in the forest, up in the mountains with the snow, he meets this girl, and Jon Snow, one of his companions, they fight, and he kills him.
The redhead.
Yes. Yeah, the redhead.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yes, her. But she was like, we have to burn him lest he turned into one of them. And I'm like, so they're zombies then. Someone dies in the snow mountains, they become a White Walker. That's where my logic is going. Joffrey, total prick, still. Bunch of nasty stuff he's doing, essentially holding his wife prisoner, but then decides to change his wife at the end of the season with the widow of the king who was gay, who got killed by the ghost. Right?
Yep.
The King of the North, he's up. The mom has just let
Rob Stark.
Rob Stark. His mom just let the Lannister go, the really nasty blonde-haired one. Jamie, and her knight, the female that's like 6'7", is the one that's taking him somewhere. I'm assuming to King's Landing.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yes. She's great. I loved her character. They have the new country there, which the Red Witch and this and the guy that was on the boat that invaded King's Landing at the end of the season, which got me a little confused because there's already a lot of characters in Game of Thrones, and they threw in a new kingdom. And so I was like, well, okay, who are these people? What's their relationship with other people? And then the last group that I'm following was the kid. I'm going to get his name wrong, so fans, I'm still learning names. I promise by season 3 I'll get the names down. He grew up with the Starks, but he's not part of the Stark family.
Mm-hmm.
He links up with his dad and his sister,
Yep.
goes and invades Winterfell, and essentially chases the little boy out, where the little boy flees with his crew, and then he, I guess, takes it over, but no one respects him. Like, his army doesn't respect him. I think he's giving like some speech at the end. They knocked him out because he just had enough of his bullshit, which I did too. I was like, I had enough of this guy's bullshit. And those are kind of the groups that I'm following at this point. Yeah.
Ooh, it's getting good up in here.
And I remember the last time we did this, you asked me to kind of give you which characters I liked in these seasons. If I'm not mistaken, last time we talked, it was I think I told you 3 characters that I liked, and then 4 characters who I thought would end up on the throne. Oh, and
Theon.
which one is he?
Theon is the little shit that Theon Greyjoy. He's the
Yeah.
one that goes to the Iron Isles,
Yeah, he
meets
sucks.
his dad and sister. Theon.
Yeah, he's awful. And then there's the obviously there's the Mother of Dragons and her crew up
Yeah.
in that city as well. The characters I really liked this season. I really, it's so weird to say after last season too. The dwarf
Tyrion.
he did traffic that kid, sold her to somebody, and it really pissed off the queen, Joffrey's mom, which I really liked because I think she's just the worst. But he looks like he's
Cersei.
yeah
Bitch.
yeah she's awful. That character seems like he wants the best for the kingdom. I think he was less of an asshole this season. He found someone I think he actually liked, and it seems like who he's trying to really get under the skin of is Joffrey and his mom, which I'm 100% on board with. I'm like, yes, you mess with them because they suck. And everybody else, he seems like he's either playing them or he's on their side, which I liked. He's a much more powerful than his size would lead you to believe. I want to see more of the Hound, bro. The Hound started to show his colors in this season. Where one of the parts of the season that I was just really heartbroken with is when he invites Sophia Turner's character, the redheaded Stark,
Sansa.
Sansa, to go with him and let's get the heck out of King's Landing. And she's brainwashed. She's a mistreated survivor of abuse, and she's brainwashed. She doesn't want to leave. Which I was like, no, you go with him. He may look scary and you've seen him do awful things, but when she was about ready to get gang raped, he came in, he's killed all 3 of those guys. Which is really good because in this show so far, the people that deserve to get offed aren't getting offed, which is really pissing me off. So at that point, when the Hound, with these 3 guys that wanted to gang rape this princess, actually they got what they deserved, I was like, finally. Because there's a scene in season 1 or season 2 where Jon Snow and his crew stumble upon this guy who is marrying his daughters and then feeding his baby's children to zombies. I think if I'm understanding the story correctly. And nothing happened to him, and I'm pissed off about it because I want that guy's head on a spike. And I'm like, you're seriously not going to do anything about this animal?
Oh, out in the north.
Yes. Yeah. Jon Snow comes across this community of this guy who's just marrying his daughters. All of his daughters, one of them actually asked for help, and I think Jon gets punished for it because he's the one that actually hears her plea for help. And then Jon follows the guy into the woods and sees him feed one of his baby sons to a White Walker, I think, is what happens. And so when the Hound finally killed someone that deserved it, I was like, hell yeah, I like that. And the last guy that I really enjoyed this season, and I don't know anything about him, is this guy that Ariana Stark frees from this prison, gives him an axe when the bad guys attack, and he gets out of jail, becomes a knight for King's Landing, and then at the very end of the season, he protects her along the way, and at the end of the season, he gives her a coin. He's like, if you need me again, say this phrase, and I will be there for you. He gives the coin that he bounced. I'm like, I liked him. I thought he was a good character. I thought he was mysterious. He's looking out for someone that I liked too.
Yes. Yes, the mysterious.
Yeah, those are my highlights of season. Those are my characters that was okay, these people are I'm really invested in. And I still love Jon, but I don't think Jon got enough to do this season where he didn't kill the guy. And then the other episodes, he is either walking a prisoner to the mountains or he is a prisoner in the mountains. But that is
the what in the mountains?
Jon Snow. This in season 2, he's in the village with the pedophile, and then they're walking through the mountains, going the city beyond the wall or something, and he takes a prisoner, escorts the prisoner for a whole episode or 2, and then he becomes a prisoner for at least half an episode. So like I still like that character. I just didn't get to spend enough time with him in season 2.
Okay. I'm looking up currently. I'm trying to find the actor that you're talking about that plays the one. Oh, I forget his name, but he's.
Which guy you're talking about? The mysterious one?
Yes, he's like a woman.
I can tell you. Hang on.
Dang, I forget his name.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Tom Walashach Heba. Just kidding. That's an awful way to pronounce his name. But
that's him.
yes. Sorry, Tom. I totally butchered your name. But his character, just mysterious, and he has like the 3 wishes, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Because he snaps the guy's neck, he throws a dart at the other guy, and then the little Stark girl's like, I want to know what you know. Teach me. And he was like, come with me. And she's like, I can't. I gotta find my sister. I gotta find my brother. And he's like, well, when you need me, gives you the coin. It's like, hold this and say this magic word, and I'll come. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who he just interested.
oh, dude, man, I need to go rewatch all this. I forget that all of this happened in the first 2 seasons. Because what's about to come? Oh wow, it's just gonna be so fast. You're gonna be by the time I know it, you're gonna be finished with all 8 seasons.
They're not long seasons. Like they're 8. There's one season I think got cut short by the either the writer's strike or the pandemic.
No, it was the very last season. The writers had offers to go write the new Star Wars, like a new Star Wars show.
Got it. Oh, that's right.
So
And that fell through.
Well, it fell through because of how bad the backlash was for season 8.
Okay. I've noticed that season 8, like when I was just browsing through the seasons, season 8 I think only has like 6 episodes, but they're each like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
So it's like Stranger Things territory we're approaching, where every episode's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I do think, we'll talk more about that when we get to season 8, but I do think it did feel kind of rushed, but I still enjoyed it. I know that's a hot take. But so now after watching season 2, who's your favorite characters? Which I think last time it was what? Who's your top
John, I think
4?
I think John, the little Stark girl, and
Arya, John.
was that it? I think that might have been it. Right?
Well, let's see. I think it was.
The Mother Dragons. I like. I like to see her win.
Yeah, because so it was like, who do you like? Who do you hate? And who do you think is going to take the throne?
Okay. Well, who I liked this season was, even though he did traffic somebody, the Lannister, the dwarf,
Tyrion.
He seems like he's the smartest one in the room. I think he's fucking with those that need to be fucked with, and not fucking with those that just need to be left alone, which I like. I think he's looking out for, at this point, I think the saddest character in the show is Cece, is that her name?
Sansa
Stark, because she's like, I've met so many women like this. They're just in a really bad relationship, and they've been beaten into a pulp that they can't ever leave, even when an opportunity to leave has been given to them. Like, man, I just want her to go with the Hound so bad. I don't trust the Hound quite yet, but he's shown to me like these little flashes of like kindness in the intensity that he is.
Yeah.
Where his appearance in itself is just intense. He's big, he's tall, he's scarred, he's an intimidating presence physically. You see him fight, it just gets even worse. But when he gives the napkin to her in season 1, he's like, just keep it, you're gonna need it again. I'm like, he's nice, I think. And then when he is looking to get her out and he saves her from the rapist, I'm like, he's showing enough flashes where I'm thinking that you should probably trust this guy versus Joffrey. So this season, I like the Hound. I like this mysterious genie. I I still like Jon, even though
Jockey or something.
yeah, I still like Jon Snow, even though I didn't get enough time with him this season. I'm really interested to see where his character goes. And then the Lannister, I think his actions are interesting.
Tyrion.
Who I hated this season was Joffrey. Total prick, total asshole. Hate his guts. The traitor, the traitor. He the guy who went to the islands.
Theon.
Theon.
Theon Greyjoy.
Total douchebag. Like I know he gave a speech where like he's trying to get some sympathy where it's like, wow, I was held here against my will, or you guys took me when I was a little kid. Still, like that community, from what I understood, was not filled with a bunch of warriors, just filled with a bunch of kids and elderly people governed by a crippled 12-year-old. Screw that guy. And I really hated the pedophile. Bless you.
Excuse me.
In the woods with all of his kids that he's marrying. And then just the wizard in the city where the Mother of Dragons goes. And
The warlock.
Yeah, and he's like screwing with her dragons and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't like him. I just don't like. He's giving me a weird vibe. And I'm glad to see him dead. Which leads me into my next point of who's going to take the Iron Throne. I am almost positive it's going to be her because first off, I was very happy, go back to our last episode, to see her clothed this whole season. There's no nudity for her at all, which I'm like, good for her. And her agent that was like, look, here's my limits. We did enough nudity in season 1.
Who?
The Mother of Dragons.
Oh, yes.
No nudity at all. She is fully clothed the whole time, especially after what she went through in season 1. I'm like, good for her. There was, like we talked about last time too, there was significantly less nudity in season 2.
Was there?
Yes.
I felt like there wasn't.
There was still a lot. I still think there was too much where it was unnecessary, but it was no longer such a big distraction compared to season 1. I think that they're, just like I've seen with other shows too, Narcos included, which I love Narcos. You throw them with nudity because sex sells in season 1, and as time goes on, you slowly wean them off until they're just there for the story. Maybe it doesn't happen, maybe it does, I don't know. But I'm almost positive she sits on the throne because she's got those dragons. And when those dragons breathe fire and this warlock who's kind of in control this whole time up in this golden city, I mean, this guy is toast in a matter of like 40 seconds with these dragons. I'm like, when those dragons grow, if they grow, which I assume they grow, she is going to be unstoppable. There's no, and like they make hints to it throughout like season 2 where it's like supposedly the Mother of Dragons is up north and she's coming because she wants to retake the throne. But he's like, no one's ever stormed this wall. But if she has dragons, we are all screwed. So I'm like, if she's got dragons, she's automatically the most powerful person on this continent, I think. I think last time I said that the blonde-haired Lannister Jamie was going to do it. I have doubts because I think they're kind of marching him to his end. You didn't see much of him in season 2, so maybe see more of him in season 3. But it kind of seems like they're about this close to putting a sword through his chest. So I no longer think he's going to end up sitting on the throne. Who I would replace him with is his dad, because his dad seems like a ruthless son of a bitch.
Tywin.
Yes, which I really enjoyed his character, even though I know he's a bad guy, because I really enjoyed how he was, even though she was his slave essentially, kind of mentoring the little Stark girl, and the conversations they had were just really interesting. Because obviously he's very intelligent, she's very intelligent. And then he wins the fight in the end and becomes the hand of the king. So I'm like, I could see him just being like, my kids are a bunch of shitheads. I got to take this thing back. You're also going to drive this thing into the ground. I still think Jon Snow might. I think last time I said that the little Stark girl, Ariana, is that her name, would sit on the throne. I no longer think that's the case. I think she's more of like a put me in the trenches, don't put me on the throne type of person, if it even comes to that. If she ends up being a fighter or whatever. I think who could end up sitting on the throne as like a full circle story would be the other Stark daughter, the redhead.
Sansa.
I think she might end up on there because she seems like she's going through it now, but She's rubbing shoulders with powerful people. She's seeing how this thing works. And if she does end up taking an invite to leave that city at some point, and the fog clears out and the vengeance comes in, and she gets support from people like the Hound, I could see her taking back, and she being the one that puts the knife through Joffrey's heart. I don't think Joffrey's going to do it just because if he ends up on the throne in season 8, I can see why people would be pissed because that is just
Joffrey?
yes. That would be such an injustice for those of us that have they're watching this whole thing because that kid is an asshole, and whatever's coming to him, he deserves. I'm hoping that he gets fed to some of those white zombies because that is, I think, what he deserves.
Man, Joffrey's awful. There's some. So I'll say there's a lot of injustice that happens in Game of Thrones, and there's not a lot of justice that happens to the injustice. But when justice does happen to those causing injustice, oh man,
Feels good.
it feels good.
So it is coming. Something is coming. Then some kind of justice is coming.
But not all of the injustices get justice. I'll also say that, so I'll keep you on your toes.
Because the only justice that's been righted this whole season is the Golden Crown, when the Drago. When Jason Momoa dumps the crown on.
Oh yes,
On
yes,
his-
the
on the-
molten crown.
Yes, yeah,
On his yes, the Queen Daenerys' brother.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
I'm like that is like the only
the
scene of
molten
yes.
gold on his brain,
Yep.
on his face.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah, that is the only thing of justice that's happened so far.
Khal Drago, yes.
Drago, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Shit, that scene. Just dumps it right on his face.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was expecting more casualties in season 2, because it seems like in season 1 there were a lot of casualties. In season 2 there was less casualties of main characters. I mean, the guy with the beard that tied behind the bottom of his chin, it's like a general to the youngest Stark child. I mean, he died, but you only saw him maybe 3 or 4 times in the whole series so far, and just expecting.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because he's not a very consequential character.
But yeah, season 2 they introduce a lot more characters that stir the pot, that cause trouble, that are just tools. I mean, for example, I as an actor I think he's absolutely brilliant, but I hate Tywin Lannister, the father. Father Lannister. And you look at that family and you go, yeah, there's a reason why y'all are fucked up.
Yeah.
Because your dad is a fucking tyrant.
Yep.
And he has not, all he cares about himself. That fucking guy deserves to be shot while he's taking his shit. Like, what a douche. So.
See, I kind of liked him in season 2. Not liked him, because I know he's a bad guy, but.
So that's one thing he's good at, right? Is he brings reason, like real reason, but it's all reason for himself.
Yeah.
But it is reason, and if it's helping those that need to be helped in the short term to help him in the long term, that's all he cares about. So, anyways, that guy, I don't like that guy.
Okay.
Theon Greatjoy, yeah, man, that guy, the betrayal.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Oh, season 3 is gonna rock your world, bro.
I hope he dies.
Season 3 is going to rock your world.
I was going to start it tonight, but then you gave me this recommendation of 3 billboards.
3 billboards,
I'm
yeah.
going to watch that one instead.
Shit, I need to watch now. Man, I don't. How are you consuming these shows so fast?
Just in the evenings, just sit down, plop down, and I watch it.
I guess that's what I did with season. I mean, literally, that's all I did from December 18th to January 22nd last year was watch Game of Thrones every waking moment.
I have a routine too. Like right now, there's no football on, so I have less things that I'm watching live. So I have this thing where I'll watch an episode of Game of Thrones, and then I'll do 22 minutes of extreme productivity with Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the background. So as soon as the episode's over, I stop what I'm doing and I watch another episode of whatever I'm watching, whether it could, whether it's Game of Thrones, Invincible, or Severance, like these shows I'm watching now. Because with those shows, I really loved Parks and Rec. I loved The Office. I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is fine. I'm not going to give it 100% of my attention, but I will give it 50% of my attention.
Yeah.
And I'm able to accomplish a lot in 20 minutes, then just go right back to what I was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my routine.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's my routine.
So when you say, okay, we're shifting gears a little bit. When you say extreme productivity, like, are you just dialed in?
Yeah, just 20 minutes of just like scheduling appointments, answering emails, sending emails, creating the content for like our social media and the Patreon, and making sure things are uploaded and ready to go. Like at this current recording, this might not come out for a while, but tonight Sweet Molly goes out, so making sure all of our
Sweet Molly episode goes live?
yeah, it goes live at midnight. Yeah, so it goes live on YouTube. It goes live on Apple, Spotify, and then our social media. I'll probably post about it and tag JC and Sweet Molly as a collaborator in the morning. But so I just extreme productivity, just making sure like that's scheduled out to go out on the right dates, and then once the episode's over, I'm like, okay, taking a break. Watch something that I can actually give 100% of my attention to. Because like those. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's good. But it's still it's like police, so it gives me a little bit of anxiety. Cause I'm like, oh, they're actually arresting people. Shows like Modern Family, Parks and Rec, and The Office, I'm able to watch just like as background noise because it's very low stakes with people that are generally nice to each other. I'm like, okay, this is creating a nice environment where I can be really, really productive. It's just a background noise.
Interesting.
Game of Thrones, I can't do background noise with that. You have to like be locked in. I'm 2 seasons in. I don't know anybody's name yet. I just know what they're doing. But I'm having redheaded Stark, little Stark, crippled Stark, fat guy. I need to learn names.
Yeah, you do.
So being locked in. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this guy's name? And then when you think you're getting a name, they throw in a new character. I'm like, oh no.
Well, and also, all right, you got Lannisters, you've got Tywin, Tyrion.
They'll sound the same.
The Tyrells, you've got fucking. All of them are just
the worst.
And I'm actually now thinking more of House of the Dragon. There's like a billion Targaryens that all have like 2-letter variations, and it's like, did you not think to change any like significantly names? So I get that. They get that gets mixed up. So
it's interesting because I just was expecting. I just came into it not knowing what I knew things about Game of Thrones. I knew something about a red wedding. I knew about the episode so dark that you had to watch it in the dark, like really pitch dark. I know something about a Starbucks cup that got left on set once. I know that Boromir dies, Ned Stark, which has the most the easiest name to remember because it's a normal name. But I didn't know what it was, what the story entailed. It's interesting. I told somebody this the other day where it's like, if you're looking to go into Game of Thrones for the first time, at least at this point for me, in season 2, it's less Lord of the Rings and more Star Wars, the prequel series. What do I mean by that? It's not big battles.
Yeah,
it's not big spectacle. It's not like these, you think of like Helm's Deep. You think about from like a show like Game of Thrones and like the market and all this stuff. I'm like, we're gonna have like a freaking Helm's Deep type of thing where it's like dark and it's like a 3-hour-long battle and all these different things. But it's more like a game. Which if you watch the Star Wars or prequel series, there's some awesome lightsaber fights in that. But mainly it's like 7 or 8 characters jockeying little by little for political positions until one of them ends up on top. That's what it is.
The Game of Thrones.
It's a Game of Thrones, and it's a game. It's not a War of Thrones. It's a Game of Thrones. So it's more like Star Wars or prequel series. We got Anakin makes a move. Yoda makes a move. Palpatine makes a move, but just slight. But then he has to kind of go back because he's showing too much of his hand. All these different things. And then by the end, you have one that's sitting on the Game of Thrones, and or the Iron Throne. It's Emperor Palpatine. It's much more political gaming of how do I gain, what political points can I gain in this episode to push me just a little bit closer to where I want to be. And a lot of that is not through violence. It's through backstabbing. It's through having the right
Manipulation.
connection. Yes, through the manipulation. It's much more, at least at this point in the show, it's more not making any, it doesn't make it bad. It's just different from what I expected. It's more political than a show about like war. And you can tell there's things that are building up, like these, like every season, at least season 2, seasons in, everybody's kind of inching closer to King's Landing, right? Inching a little closer every single day, except for maybe Jon Snow, who seems like he's just going further and further north. But then one kingdom actually shows up, and they have like this fight, and the fight lasts a whole episode. There's a winner and there's a loser, but there's these other groups that are coming closer to this spot. I'm assuming at some point they probably choke into each other, don't get along. But it's just, you can tell there's big battles coming, more big battles, but it's a lot of political jockeying, and it's a lot of slow incremental movements toward this one city in the middle. I think. 2 seasons in, that's my point of view.
I think you're understanding the Game of Thrones, my friend.
I just hope Joffrey does not stay on that ding for too much longer. I really hate that kid.
He is awful.
God, he does these. He's cruel. He is. He's manipulative. He's sadistic, and he's a coward. Like where he's like in the fight, and his uncle is trying to like, you gotta stay here. And I know the uncle was trying to get him killed in battle, which is smart on his end. But then he's just like, nah, you guys, you can fight in my place or whatever. And an episode I really liked is when he got hit with cow shit. Remember this when there's like this, they're sending off because the dwarf, what's his name?
Tyrion
had just sold the queen's daughter, and she's getting sailed away.
Sansa.
Yes. And there's like this protest like in the city where people are fighting. This is when the girl almost gets raped and the hound comes and kills them all. And during this protest, someone throws cow shit at Joffrey and hits him right in the face. And I'm like,
I don't remember this.
I'm glad he got
But that makes me want to go watch it again. Yeah. Shit.
You get a lot of stuff to watch, man.
Oh, I know. My attention, for me to like actually consume and digest something, I can only do one thing at a time. Even though my ADHD, like I'm doing a bajillion things at a time, I can really only effectively do one thing at a time. And then I get distracted by a bajillion things, in between. What I've noticed, and this is another side thought. So I got rid of Instagram a while ago, right? And then I had Facebook and still Facebook, and I was just like all this, and then it was like I'm just on Facebook all the time. And then this last week I just deactivated my Facebook, and then I've gone, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Anyways, it was like, I'm curious to see tomorrow what my iPhone usage is going to pop up. Every Sunday it's like, you've used this much time on your screen. It was like 3 hours a day on average less.
Just without social media.
Jeez. Just one form of social media. Right? I don't have any social media anymore. So
do you think it'll stay that way?
Probably. I think probably. I mean, I don't know. There's a world that I like about just getting lost in social media, of this like meme after laugh after whatever that's just mindless. But I just feel so lost when I'm in that, and like no connection. One thing that has been interesting though, because I've always gone back and forth of deactivating and activating and deactivating and activating. But since like I deleted Instagram, and like I'm for sure off of Instagram. And then now that I have deactivated Facebook, and I'm still undetermined on what I'm going to do that, because I want to create a Facebook page that's more for business, for like me as a professional, as a cinematographer. But anyways, to be determined. But what I have noticed is people, for the most part, society is so locked in on social media that they don't know how to engage in relationships outside of social media. Like if I've noticed in conversations of people just talking about memes and whatever, blah 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 blah, or just sending me or trying to send me like things of social media, and it's like I can't watch that because I don't have Instagram, and Instagram has like a block that you can't. It's like you need to sign in or join for you to view this. It's like I can't participate in those conversations. I can't participate in those things. And then it's like those people disappear because I cannot engage in what they are engaged in. So I've noticed an interesting level of loneliness. And maybe it's just because it's the short-term effect after, right? But I've noticed a stabilization, like an internal stabilization of a healthier, because I think it's good to, I think being alone for a certain amount of time is good, right? Obviously I think also being social is huge. I think social media has really fucked up what social interactions mean and are. But what I have found interesting is I have less connections and less interactions with people and the world, I suppose. But when I do have interactions, those interactions are so much more meaningful. They're so much more personal. Ever since you've said that, since the Walter Mitty episode of the drunk pilot going, Walter, how do I stay in touch with you? I've thought about that a lot. Like, I think there's once a day where I find my mind playing out that scene and going, how do I stay in touch with you? And I'm going, man, I'm not staying in touch with a lot of people anymore because I'm not on social media, right? And it's interesting. It's what's fascinating is people who will like text or message with social media, they won't do that with regular text message. It's almost like now this is the form to communicate with people, and then this regular way that has always been was just like either talking to you face to face or sending you a form of written text, which was once letter, then it turned to text message or email, letter, email, text message. Now it's just TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Yeah, texting now is like the social email. Versus like if you just want to chat with somebody, you just hit them up on one of their social media platforms.
Yes. Which to me, I'm just like, this is interesting. This is interesting. I cannot engage with mass society because I do not want to be locked into what I think is just a complete manipulation of the human, psyche and mind. Everything that is designed around those platforms is to control. I mean, from the colors that are on your app that just dopamine strike you to lure you in and like lock you in. Like for a day, turn your phone on grayscale mode and watch how less interested you are in your phone. And so because all of those things are designed to pull you in and draw you in, like you're just being controlled. And then the algorithms are there to destroy you. Like they are there to own your ass. And I just don't want to be owned. I'm like, fuck you.
Yep.
I will not be controlled. And now this is going down a whole nother rabbit hole. But I guess like more of the story is it's just fine. I just find it interesting with me getting out of socials in how less social people are engaging with me because it's not comfortable for them to engage with me outside of now what is a mainstream way of communicating.
Does it make sense? You 2 days ago, you asked me to send you a screen grab of that video.
Uh-huh.
Because you're on Instagram, you can't see it, right?
No.
You can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone probably sent it to you, and you were like,
So I sent you like a picture,
Screenshot,
a
yeah,
screenshot. Someone sent that to me,
the screenshot or the
the
link?
screenshot.
Okay.
And I asked them, I'm like, where did you find that? Like, I want to see it. And they responded, it's on Instagram. And I responded, well, I'm not on Instagram. And they responded, well, that's a choice. And I thought, you're right, that is a choice.
Yeah.
Cool. So then I took that screenshot and I sent it to you.
I sent you the video.
And I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you find this and screenshot or screen record it and then send it to me? And you were you had already seen it and were.
I reposted it.
You had reposted it.
Yeah, it's on the locked up.
So you had already seen it. And so anyways, I wanted to watch it. And for context for those listening or hearing, it was a speech I had given at an award.
Mm-hmm.
So
Utah Film Festival.
I was just curious on how it was because when I remember giving it, I just felt like I was just rambling. And I was like, well, what the fuck did I just say? So I was just like, man, did I even make any sense at all? So I wanted to watch it. And then watching it, I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. It was not as bad as I imagined up in my head.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was like I could not communicate or interact normally with people because I was not on like the new normal with people because I'm not on socials, So it's interesting. And I actually have really enjoyed it. I think I have. There has been like a level of loneliness that comes with it, just because now you're not one of the cool kids anymore. You're not a normal regular person in the circulation of I'm gonna interact with you because it's easy. It's like cool. That's fine. I mean, how meaningful are those connections anyways? Right? I think most of them are just hollow. But
And like just like we talked about Facebook when we talked about Walter Mitty and being connected and it's nice. Like I'll talk about people from the Dominican Republic that I met on my mission when I was down there 2009, 2011, 14, 15 years ago. It's really nice to check up on them and make sure they're doing okay. But how often do I actually engage with them is a whole different thing. Where it's like, yeah, I see how they're doing. I see what they're doing. I see their kids. But actually connecting with them, bro. Like I remember I was down there and I'm just like, we're going to connect all the time. I'm never going to forget you guys. And just life happened, like before long, 2 years has passed and you're only in communication with 2% of the people you met on this, big adventure you had. And because like, even like my companions, the people, you teach down there, you're just like, I'm going to stick, you guys are my people. And I went through this amazing experience and less than 1% now of like my companions and the people that I met that I can probably actually keep in touch with. Do I see them? Yes, if the algorithm lets me see them. But for the most part, I haven't engaged with them at all. Like actually staying in touch, like the people that actually know me and want to connect with me have my phone number. They have my WhatsApp. They don't communicate with me on Messenger unless they're really poor and they have no cell phone and they just connect on the internet cafe. I do have a few of those that connect on Messenger. But the ones that really connect have my phone number.
Yeah.
And it's not through social media. Almost like social media is like now it's become like this like it's like this way of spying each other. where it's like, I'm not going to connect with you really, but because we don't live that far apart, but I know what you're doing. I know what you're buying. I know who you're sleeping with. I know all these different things. I'm not going to engage with you at all. And the pressure of it, man. Like there's so many social media now that like people have where it's like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Blue Sky, Twitter, X,
Blue
TikTok.
Sky. What's Blue Sky?
It's the left wing version of Twitter now because people are boycotting X and going to Blue Sky. But it's just too much. It's just too much. And it's like then you have like I had the point where I just had to give up Snapchat where it's like there's only one person I talk to on Snapchat. It's not worth keeping. I gotta go. Like if you have 10 social media channels that you're constantly monitoring all the time, it's just too much. And to essentially see the exact same thing too.
Yeah.
So good for you.
So and again, if people want to engage in life like that, like more power to you. Like if you can legitimately say you're in control and you moderate yourself and you actually are honest with the amount of stuff that you're engaging in or how much it is taking away from your real life and you found a good balance with that, great. Awesome. Like I wish I had the same control. I just get lost in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And part of that's just like my ADHD and it's just like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And then by the time I've seen a million squirrels, it's midnight and my whole day is just gone. And I go, well, I need control. But it's like you are fighting a losing game because it is designed to understand you and work against you. And your brain's not thinking about that. Your brain is thinking, this is my friend. This is good.
Yeah.
And it's over there, how am I going to rule the Iron Throne?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put these pieces over here, and I'm going to put these pieces over here, and I'm going to control the world that you live in and make you think that you're sitting on the Iron Throne. But who is actually there? Who's the right hand of the king ready to fucking stab you in the back? And that's social media.
Yeah. I read somewhere it's like there's two really good ways to know who someone is really. You hop on their algorithm on TikTok and see what kind of videos pop up, and then you go to their Google history at 2 a.m. That's how you really find out who someone is. Yeah. Like pulling it up right now. Like my Google history. I can tell you right now. You want to get to know me? Here's my Google history from 2 a.m. How many seasons are there in The Last of Us 2? What's the reaction for Captain America: Brave New World? How to beat the dragon in Black Myth at Wukong? How do you spell Bran Stark? God.
That's funny.
Those
That's
recent
funny.
Google searches. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, man, it's just an interesting world we live in. It is just a fascinating world. And that's just I mean, I'm not trying to justify it, but that is the system that we live in and people are being born into and run by, right? So it's hard to not engage. That's how businesses are running. That's how society is functioning. That's how news is getting out there, right? So I am making a choice to go, that's not how I want to engage in life. And then that really restricts my interactions, whether they are good and genuine and meaningful or not. That is limiting my interactions with people and people's engagement with me. But I think I prefer that,
I do appreciate how when you left social media, there wasn't like this big announcement. Like some people, when they leave social media, they gotta let all of us know. It's like I'm better than all of you, and I've decided to just do my thing. And social media is no longer all this different thing, and a lot of those people end up coming back. I feel like I know someone. She left social media, made this whole big announcement, and hasn't posted for a long time. More power to her. But she's constantly on that thing. Every time I see her, she's just scrolling. She's not posting. It's like, okay, great. So did you really leave or did you not? But like you, I went to go tag you in our Walter Media video, And I was like, why is Sam not popping up? Couldn't find you. You just left. You just deactivated your Facebook. I'm like, you know what? That's the way to do it. Instead of like being like, okay, world, let me let you know that I'm no longer going to participate in this social experiment. You just left. You just left. But it was refreshing to not see like an announcement of prepared of like why you're doing it. I'm just like, when people try to justify with like, there's two things that drive me nuts for some reason on social media. One is when people try to justify why and who they voted for. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for her anyway. You writing 3 paragraphs of why you vote for this person ain't going to change anybody's mind. It's just helping you verbalize your thoughts and your feelings, which is fine, but you can do that in your journal. 2 is when people make the announcement they're leaving social media. Whatever the 2 reasons, when people post those 2 things of they're leaving and why, and who they're voting for and why, I'm just like, who cares? Like, why are you even wasting time posting this? Like, there's no pug, there's no pretty sunset, there's nothing worth reading there. So like, why even post it?
Well, and also, if you see that post, the fact that they're doing that post, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but the fact that they're doing that post means they're going to be back because they need the reaction.
Mm-hmm. They want to see how many people like that post.
Yeah.
Even then, as they're leaving, they're like, I still want to see people what they feel that I'm leaving this platform.
Yeah.
And it is like, the more I scroll through like my own social media, it's just highlights, bro. It's just highlights. Like, I posted, the last picture I posted is of a survivor that took horseback riding in Wyoming, which was awesome. It was fun. Like, it was some great pictures.
Yeah.
But you keep scrolling. It's like, there's an award. There's this. There's the birth of my niece, my nephew, all these different things. It's just highlights. Like, no one knows the real stuff. Like, one of the conversations that I go back on a lot, and it's actually funny because it makes me think of Game of Thrones, where like people in Game of Thrones aren't really vulnerable with each other because it's not safe to be vulnerable with those people in Game of Thrones. It's a world that's very unsafe. Is the sleazy like assistant said? I don't remember his name either, but he was telling the Stark girl, leave King's Landing. We're all a bunch of liars and murderers here. Versus like the conversation that Logan and Lara had in Logan, where we talked about vulnerability, where Lara's like, I have nightmares and I have PTSD. And Logan's like, I'm suicidal. I can't wait till the day I get to shoot myself. And that level of vulnerability doesn't really exist on social media. Like, you don't see like what people go through. You don't see like just like, I mean, I think people understand more about the shit that I go through, the shit that you go through by listening to this podcast versus like going and scrolling through my Instagram. That is like if my personal life had a press release section versus like
right.
You get into like the depths and the darkness and the even like the days where I wanted to put a bullet in my own head. Like, you don't find that on social media.
Well, I think what you just said, like, that's your press release, like, but press release is all tailored to look and feel the way it can be best suited to your people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's no longer like social media used to be fun. Like, I'll be honest, like, and it's still I still have social media. Some social media. I don't have a lot, but I have some. And it can be fun. Like, I saw this video today when you were before you came in of this dog washing shop in LA that had to wash this Frenchie, and the Frenchie tried to bite him like 5 or 6 times. But by the end, he made friends with the Frenchie. He was petting him on the back, and when he was giving him like the soap in his back, the Frenchie laid over and was going to let him pet his belly. I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the algorithms make it so tough now to where like you have to use those certain phrases. You have to post this certain trend. You have to use this many faces. Like, it's really hard to get the algorithm right to where people could see it. It used to be linear. Of just like, okay, well, 3 hours ago this guy posted this, 4 hours ago this guy posted this, and it's just you got to like what you chose to like, not what they wanted you to like.
Yeah.
And that's where it became just less unfun, to where like you're consuming what they want you to consume versus like what you want to consume. A story that I will never forget that you told me is when you were unfollowing things on Instagram. You remember this story? You're like, nope, 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 nope. And they were like, you've unfollowed too many people today. You cannot unfollow anybody else. You're like, this is my account.
Yep.
This is my account. I can be able to like and follow who I want. But no, it's like, no, we're going to feed. You can follow these people to a certain point, but then we're going to start feeding you things that we want you to see. And gosh, I hate that on X, on Twitter, and TikTok is fine because TikTok algorithm is a little bit more clean. But when you're scrolling through Facebook and you get a bunch of ads, or you get a bunch of posts from people you don't even follow, like it's just not. You have less control now more than ever on social media.
Yeah.
Like what you post and how your content is consumed.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm not going to be part of your system. I'm not going to be a cog in your wheel. You know, I mean, I would say probably one I still get a little bit locked into is YouTube on my Apple TV. I don't really ever use YouTube on my phone like at all, but on my YouTube TV, on my Apple TV, my YouTube app, like I just will go to just get my brain off of something. And I've noticed, I'm like, I don't really see anything other than these few things. And it's gaming, like streamers, because I like Call of Duty. So it will be like the top streamers of Call of Duty. And then for whatever reason, and I don't like engaging in politics and the whole wars and debates in between those, right? It's like those are my personal thoughts and feelings, and I'm going to work on my own self and then my own community on how I'm going to make the world a better place, right? But those get pushed out to me, and I don't want to be. And it's from the blue and from the red, both agendas, right? And it's like, I'm not engaging in this. I don't want to engage in this. Why are you throwing this into my algorithm? And then what's the other one? It used to be like camera stuff, because obviously I'm a cinematographer and films, and sometimes it is still, but now it's just like gaming. It's just like, and to a point where I've just gone, I don't want to be on YouTube anymore because I can't find anything. I can't like discover anything new that's actually interesting, because all of this is just, nope, ignore. Like, we're just going to funnel you down this rabbit hole because we think that this is what you need and like most. So I did think of this last week, I've gone, maybe I should get on TikTok just to try and monetize, just to try and make money off of these people who are just locked in, right? And how am I going to do this? What would I do? And it's like, comments is what drives activity, not likes, right? You know, and so it's like, okay, do I create a controversial TikTok page that will just make people comment and fight? It's like, well, I could make money on that, consistently doing that, but what does that do to the world? I don't want to do that, right? I was like, could I make a lot of money doing that? Sure. But that doesn't, to me, that's so hollow. And I want the money. I don't even want the money. I want what the money can buy, right? Which is just independent personal freedom in a commercialized America, right? I don't want money to stop me from doing what I want to do. So do I bring a little contention in the world every single day by making a TikTok video that engages people in content that causes contention and fighting and bickering? I don't want to do that, you know? So I don't know if I'll hop on TikTok and then find some sort of service thing to monetize just as a source of income, you know? But no, I like life. I like life off the social media grid. I don't want people to know what moves I'm planning to take the Iron Throne.
You know, it's a good way to probably close it out too. Is who is going to take the Iron Throne?
It's gotta be the mother dragons, bro. That's my final pick. I know you got to bounce here in 8 minutes, but
Yeah.
I think you got a little glimpse of her power. And I'm just like, when it all, you get in a fight with her and Jon Snow. Jon Snow's gonna win. He's a better fighter. Or if you get her in a room with her and the Targaryen short guy, Tyrion, he's gonna outsmart her because he's obviously the smartest person in the room. But when those dragons are fully grown, come on. I just don't see how anybody. That's got to be, I assume, some kind of plot point over the next few seasons. Someone's got to realize this when she gets closer to the main conflict of being like, this girl has 3 dragons. We have to take those dragons out before they're fully grown.
I'm excited to take this last few seconds. It's locked in, right? It's locked in. This is a locked in moment. And then at the end of it all, revisit this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because, bro, if y'all just heard that dude,
Your neighbor?
I have no idea. But I live in this little teeny community where it's like a 15-mile-an-hour road because there's kids that live in this little home HOA environment. And then you have some dude in his Mustang just peeling out.
God, some people are so freaking stupid. It's like, who listens to that and it's like, oh yeah, that guy's cool? Nobody.
Anyways.
All right, I can't wait to finish it. I can't wait to start season 3 and revisit this conversation season 3. And yeah, Sam, you want to take us home?
Yeah, man. This was fun, right? We talked about Game of Thrones season 2 recap, right? And then we just kind of riffed.
Yeah,
And I like that.
I like it too.
Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's nice to have an agenda. Here's what we're gonna do and talk about. And other times it's nice to just riff and then go wherever it goes.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of like. Well, actually, now in saying that, I'm like, that's kind of like what the name of Locked Off Logic. The whole idea of that, at least from some of my perspective, is. Locked off is a camera term, right? And it's just you lock something off, you don't move, you don't pan or tilt the camera to follow the movement, you just lock it off and it captures what it captures. The whole scene plays out. Wherever and how the scene goes, whether things go in the frame or out the frame, it's just locked off. And like that's kind of like what I like about this because it's like we're just locking it off. And we're just thinking out loud. And wherever it goes, however the scene plays out, it plays out. And anyways, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too. Get ready for more riffs then.
Yeah.
Conversations that we're
A
just...
little more riffing.
Yeah, we had a conversation at Cafe Rio that should have been a podcast because... Not Cafe Rio, Costa Vida. Just, so get ready for more riffs. We'll come at you with all kinds of good content.
Well, and thanks again for sticking around. This episode, I think 9 technically. And what I've heard, and it was only from like one person, so it's not, I don't know if this is like a real thing, but from what I heard is like if you can make it past 10 episodes in a podcast, then like you'll just keep going. But if you can't hit 10, it'll just die off. But here we are on episode 9. 10's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's going to be a 10th episode.
10 is coming.
And there's going to be an 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a 12th. And who knows how long this will run.
While we're on that topic, Sam off screen agreed to me, for all you viewers, to come with me to go see Captain America Brave New World. And so our first movie review podcast, fresh out of the theater, will be coming probably the next week or so.
Yeah.
Where we're going to go see the movie. We're going to go do our thing, which I love this experience, where we take time off, we shut our phones off. And even if the movie is total garbage, like Dogman, is that what it was called?
Monkey Man.
Awful film. Go in, but we're sitting in it's 7 degrees in there. We have our pizza. We're pizza people. We're pizza people at movies. Have our drinks. And just the whole experience is good. And the first one of 2025, we're going to go, and then we're going to come back and review a movie, whether it was great or if it was total garbage. You're going to get a review from us because Sam just agreed to go see.
I did. I didn't want to see it. I did not want to see it, y'all. I'm over the Marvel. I'm over it. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If it doesn't work, then you can just hear from me. It doesn't work for the superhero. But you'll see Superman, though, right?
I don't know.
With James Gunn?
I don't know, man. I'm just over it.
All right.
But probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be.
But my thing is, like, I don't want to be someone that continues to pay for the behavior of all we're going to do is another decade. Like, literally, the last 10 years in cinema has predominantly and by major proportion been solely superhero movies. I don't need another decade of that. And it will only happen if they continue to make money.
Can I push back on that a little bit?
Yeah.
So I will agree with you to a certain point where, especially like in the last few, because there was a point where like superhero shows weren't just good superhero movies, they were good movies. Like Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America, the Winter Soldier in the same year. That was two really good. I think Dark Knight Rises came out that same year too.
But when was that in the cycle?
What do you mean?
So in the last 10 years, when were those movies in the cycle? At the very beginning.
Kind of. Yes. At the beginning, but not the very beginning. This is like 3 or 4 years in at this point.
But in
Phase 2.
Phase 2.
Yeah, the Marvel phases, like the phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But okay, let me finish my point, and then you can push back on it or not. Because I think you're right, where there has been a lot of superhero content, and it has been getting progressively worse as you go on. Where it's like for every Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is fairly recent and very good film, you get films like Morbius or Captain Marvel 2 or Madam Web that's bad, right? And people still go see them because they got the superhero mantra on them. But Sebastian Stan, who played the Winter Soldier who continues to play the Winter Soldier in Marvel, pushed back on some of the superhero criticisms of like, because those movies bring in so much money to Hollywood, it allows other actors like myself to explore more independent films and do other things. Like he did like the Donald Trump movie and stuff where he might not make as much money. I can do that because superhero movies bring in so much into Hollywood in general. Would you agree with that or no?
I think I'll hold my tongue.
Go. No, you can tell.
No, because I gotta go.
Oh, okay, you gotta go. Put a pin on that until next time. But yeah.
I have so much thoughts on that.
Well, just put a whole. We'll be back here in a couple of days. You can just.
Oh man,
Where do you have to go?
So I have a film that's coming out that we're doing a spotting session on. It's called Cameron Was a Red Wings Fan. So we're doing a spotting session on the edit. It's in post-production, and we're just trying to get it to a point where the edit is then locked, and then we can finish sound design, color correction, and grading, and then have it get ready to be released. But it's a spin-off of Ferris Bueller's Day Off called Cameron Was a Red Wings Fan, directed by Gabe Vienendahl, and it's fun. It's fun. It's a short film, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay, good. Well, you gotta get moving then.
Yeah.
So and put a pin on those thoughts until next time then.
Yeah, because sorry, like your millions of dollars is good enough so that you can go and make an independent film.
I mean, these are privileged people we're talking about.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you think Hollywood is dying? Do you think?
Oh yes, Hollywood's for sure dying.
Okay.
Hollywood's been dying for a long time, and the last 2 years, having 2 strikes in a row, could not tell you more how much Hollywood is dying, because the people that make up Hollywood are going, something's got to change.
Yeah.
Something has to change. And then, I mean, the studio execs have just been starving them out. I mean, that's why it took so long. And eventually, the food runs out for the below-the-line people, and then they have to just either leave the industry completely or start just submitting to the working conditions that the studio execs deal with their union reps and then go until they hit another breaking point. So, but independent filmmaking over the last few years is definitely on the rise. But, and maybe this was in a private conversation rather than a public podcast, but if the money's green, it's good. Like, that's Hollywood. If the money's green, it's good.
Yeah.
Right. So it will just continue to be run off of the dollar, the almighty dollar, and not on the stories, not on the inspirational people or characters the stories are about. It's all on the almighty dollar, and then whose pocket that funnels into, right? So that's why, like, I really like independent studios like A24 and I mean, take Heretic for example. Heretic was a studio film, A24 film that was made for less than $10 million. Had Hugh Grant, right? Hugh Grant's worth more than that.
Just by himself.
And incredible movie, incredible production value, incredible story, and I know it's made more money than 10 million. At least I think. I could be wrong, but it's just like movies don't need 300 to be made for $375 million, where the majority of that is going to the stars.
I think as a consumer of like movies too, like word of mouth means something now. Like word of mouth, I mean, something like Heretic or something like Civil War can get really good word of mouth despite it not having a lot of marketing, and people will go see it because they're willing to spend that money to go see something good.
Yeah.
Like there is no reason at all for like Indiana Jones, the last Indiana Jones, to be in the red after its theatrical run. Zero. It cost too much money, and it was just a bunch of nothing to where nobody went and saw it.
And that's the studio's problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's not James Mangold who directed it, right?
No, it's a studio's problem. If like there's the worship of the dollar, but not knowing of people like us or like me, like for example, someone that doesn't make movies at all, just consumes it. Of like my money, like I have a limited budget. If I'm gonna go watch a movie, I want it to be good. I want to go watch something that I'll remember. Like I think with Marvel, like they tried something that audiences just totally rejected. They tried a TV show that was written by AI with a bunch of AI edits in it to see if they could lower the costs and bring up value, and it's Secret Invasion, and it was universally hated. It's just a whole bunch of nothing. It just tastes like nothing. And as someone like at the end of the day, like it's normal people that fund these things, and they want something good. And for a long time, it seems like I think good movies still get people in seats. It's just you have to be good. You have to have that word of mouth. Like, hey, I went and saw Heretic. That thing is good. It's thought provoking. I'm thinking a lot about it, and I was impacted by it. And then I mean, we're all conscious of the cost of things, and it cost $10 million, and it's that good. Like one of my favorite movies of all time. That I think is an independent film that maybe cost around $10 million to make, is a film called Promising Young Woman.
Oh yeah,
I saw that thing 6 times in theater. 6 times. I was so impacted by it because it was a good story. It was really well done. It made me feel something, and I spent $200 on that thing before its theatrical run was done because of the things I learned from it and how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And there's no Marvel sticker on it. There was no directed by Christopher Nolan sticker on it. It was just a good movie.
And then I would argue that the reversal of the one, what's his name?
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. I like him. I think he's a great actor.
Me too.
Right. So I am pushing back on his thing. It was like, well, how many Promising Young Woman movies can you make out of the $378 million that you just spent on your one show? Right?
Yep.
How many? A shitload.
30?
You could make more than that. You could make $378 $1 million movies, 378, right? You could make half of that $2 million movies. You could make a third of that for $3 million movies, right? That would be fantastic and great and good and may or may not make their money. But my last rant, because I am now late, but is it Monkey Paw, or there's a production company that does horror movies, and basically they'll take a certain amount of money and go, we're going to make 10 movies. We know that some of these are going to make nothing. We know that some of these are going to make very little, but we know that one or two of them are going to hit, and they're going to pay for the rest of these and 10 more. And that's their model. And they just are making movies that are independent, that are good stories. And some of them are dumb, but they're trying to fuel an environment of creativity, of original content. I'm okay if it's terrible, but it's in an attempt to be original, right? And so they're investing in that, and that I'm like all for, right? So I don't know. It's a polarizing topic and hard to, because again, at the end of the day, what is the best answer that will be followed? And it's whatever feeds the almighty dollar. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of what we were talking about at lunch, just like fucking commercialized living. Like, instead of spending time with family members who are sick, it's like your mind is, how am I should be making money so that I can take care of myself. But here I am trying to be a good human being and a loving family member, but I can't be present because it's like, where am I going to make my money? Because we fucking live in a commercialized world.
Yeah. Every
Right.
human interaction is
Every
commercialized.
human, and monetized. So, anyways, Locked Off Logic.
Game of Thrones season 2. You got a little bonus this week.
Thanks for letting us rant and riff there a little bit. And yeah, be sure to tell someone that you love them.